back to the Patrick Lane Show, where we talk about personal finance, investing, and real estate. And today we're going to talk about something that's sort of a question I've been asked before in the comments, but also something I've been thinking about since Dogecoin took off a few weeks ago. So that question is whether it's more profitable to mine Bitcoin, or is it more profitable to simply invest in Bitcoin? So before we get into that, do me a favor, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell. It really helps us to grow the channel, and it helps for other people who may be interested in knowing the answer to that question, Bitcoin mining versus Bitcoin investing, to get the video, because the algorithm will push it out to them. Today we're going to talk about first what it takes to start mining Bitcoin just as an everyday investor. It's something that you can do in your house. But is it profitable versus whether or not you took that amount of money that you would invest in mining and just had invested in Bitcoin itself and captured that appreciation of Bitcoin? So first off, we've got to talk a little bit about what it takes to actually mine a Bitcoin. Basically, in the research that we've done, it takes a few things to get started in Bitcoin mining. The first thing it takes, obviously, is the Bitcoin mining computer itself. Well, you know, it's basically a computer. They're called miners. There's different names for them. But it's actually just a computer setup that is targeted specifically toward mining Bitcoin. Now, it used to be that you could mine it with just any old computer that you buy from the computer store. Best Buy or Staples or wherever. You could order it off the internet. But now, because the complexity of the Bitcoin blockchain has grown so much, it is actually almost required that you use a specific type of computer that's built for the purpose of Bitcoin mining. And the one that is the most popular right now, that provides the biggest return on investment, right now the best miner out there, from everything I've been able to find, is the Canaan 1246. I think it's Avalon Miner 1246, and that has a hash rate of about 90 terahash per second. Now, that is a lot. What that means is it's going to do trillions and trillions of calculations per second in order to try to figure out the next evolution of the blockchain. And that's really what cryptocurrency mining, and specifically Bitcoin mining, is about. Is the blockchain is a big long algorithm. It's a big long mathematical equation, and about every 10 minutes somebody solves the next block. So they come up with the next link on the chain by applying the computing power of all of these various mining machines to try to hash out the next block on the chain. And so about every 10 minutes that happens. Well, in order to do that, the computer solves mathematical equations. That's what it boils down to. Now, frankly, back in the beginning, you could sit down with a notepad and a pencil and go through the mathematical computations and calculations and figure it out. But because it gets more and more difficult every time somebody solves a link on the chain, just by its very nature, now we're at the point where we need not only computers, but purpose-built computers specifically for mining Bitcoin. And that's where these specific computers like the Canaan Avalon 1246 come in. Now, at the time that I record this video, this miner is going for over $9,000. That's what it's going to cost just for buying the miner itself. Now, it's a fairly small unit. It's the size of a computer tower, a gaming PC or something like that you might have in your house already. So finding space for one of these is not going to be an issue. So that's not a cost we've got to think about. But once you shell out the $9,000 plus to get the machine, guess what you've got to do? You've got to power that sucker. And these things suck a lot of energy. And so because they run 24/7, right? It's a computer, and anybody who sits at their computer and knows that if you work on the computer for a while, you hear that fan kick on because it's really working and it's sucking all that energy and your battery dies and you got to plug it in and all that sort of stuff. Well, this thing is going to suck that power quite a bit because it's humming at peak performance the whole time. So as soon as you plug it in and get it going on its mining task, it's going to be pulling all of that energy. So that's something that you've got to calculate in. So if we factor in the energy cost, and there's a great calculator tool out there, and you can see me here punching in some numbers to figure out exactly whether this is going to be profitable or not. You can use the drop-down menu to choose the exact miner that we have. So we're going to scroll down and see this K9 1246. So we'll punch that in, and then we're just going to use this one that we have priced is an 85 terahash, so we're going to make that 85 instead of 90. And then down here you can see where you put in your electric consumption costs, and that's going to be about 10 cents per kilowatt hour. That's the average across the US for residential electric rates. And so we're going to use that in this video. So once you punch those inputs in, guess what? We're going to find out that this unit will make us a profit over the course of the year over $7,000. Now that's based on the Bitcoin price as of today, which is up over $58,000, of course. So we've invested $9,000 plus for the miner. We've invested a couple $1,000s in electricity costs, and we end up with a $7,000 plus profit for the year. Well, $7,000 is pretty good, so let's now take a look at whether we think taking that same amount of money and investing in Bitcoin itself would return a better investment. Now, for this portion of the calculus, we're going to look back to January 1st of 2021, just a 3-month look back period. Well, if you look back 3 months, we can see that Bitcoin was just over $29,000 per coin. And you go fast forward to today or yesterday when it closed, and guess what? That price is up over $58,000 per coin. So just in that 3-month period, Bitcoin has gone up $29,000. So if you had bought in at $29,000, you would have profited $29,000. But that's not what we invested, right? We invested about $11,000 over the course of a year because we paid over $9,000 for the mining rig, and then we had over $2,000 in electricity cost, and that's spread out over the year. So that's about an $11,000 plus investment. So we're going to track this out over the course of a year. So starting with January the 1st, 2021, now to figure this out, we've got to kind of estimate what it's going to look like, what the price of Bitcoin is going to look like for the rest of the year. So all of the estimates, the analyst predictions, the price targets out there are pointing to between, not all of them, some of them have it going to 0, some of it have it going to 300,000. So we're going to ignore those outliers a little bit, and we're going to sort of figure the ones in the middle that have historically tried to predict and been the most accurate in predicting the Bitcoin price. Those are the ones we're going to use. And those predictions all range between 100,000 and 200,000 by the end of 2021. So over that 12-month period that we're talking about, the calendar year of 2021, the estimates are from the people who know more than I do about the price of Bitcoin. They're estimating that it's going to land anywhere from 100 to 200,000. So what we're going to do for the purpose of this video is just assume that between now and the end of the year, it's going to double again from 58,000, so roughly 60,000, to roughly $120,000 by the end of the year. Now, that's not based on anything. Obviously, that's not financial advice. I'm just sort of using these numbers as an estimate for where we're going to be at the end of the year. And that guess, that basic napkin multiplication, puts us within that, and actually at the low end of that 100 to 200,000 range that most of the predictors are looking at for a price target for the end of the year. So If we assume that $120,000 is the price at the end of the year, from $29,000 to $120,000 in 1 year is a 4x, right? 30,000 to 120, that's a 400% increase. That's 4 times. So we've got a 4x on our investment. So if we had invested on January the 1st, that $11,000 that we invested in the mining rig plus the electricity cost for 1 year, for the mining rig, mining Bitcoin, we would end up with over $7,000 in profit, not including the cost of the mining rig. If we take that $11,000 and we put it into actually buying Bitcoin and investing in Bitcoin itself, rather than mining, we take that $11,000 and dump it in on January the 1st. If we 4x that, we end up with $44,000 at the end of the year, minus our initial investment is about $33,000 in profits. Now, that comparison shows me that it's probably a better investment to simply invest in the Bitcoin rather than to build out a Bitcoin mining operation. So that's where I'm going to land on this for now. Now, that's just me. That's just as of today, based on the numbers that I'm seeing and sort of the guesses for the future price. But do me a favor, let me know down in the comments below what you think. Is it better to mine Bitcoin or is it better to invest in Bitcoin? What do you think the price target for Bitcoin is going to be at the end of the year? So tell me what you think down below. And thanks again for watching. And do me a favor before we leave, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell. We really appreciate your help growing the channel. And we'll see you in the next video.